Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Expert podcast. Joining me is Synzah and Scarz today.
What's up?
And really, I think it's only been about 10 days since the last episode, maybe. I don't think it's been too long. Which is not bad because organization can be difficult. We were going to get Swift on from the CSGO team, but he's actually having to prac right now. So we'll probably get him or some other guest on next week and look into that. But what have you guys been playing lately? Just a bit of COD? A bit of anything?
I'm in my uni exam period at the moment, so I haven't really been playing much. But yeah, just whenever I can, I hop on COD. But I've actually been playing a little bit of CSGO. I don't really like CSGO that much, but I've hopped on it and I've actually had a little bit of fun playing it. I'm actually pretty bad at it, but I don't know, it's been fun. It's been a learning experience, so that's that, I guess. And yeah, COD, Halo, CS, pretty much.
Yeah, I've just been basically studying for my midterms right now. Also, pretty much, so not too much happening. Yeah, that's really it. Just keeping quiet.
True.
Uni exams are bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my final sat today. I think it went alright, so it's pretty chill.
Yeah, I've seen you streaming a bit of COD and some 2v2 comps and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been chill.
But pretty much I've been I've been playing CSGO and I have a love-hate relationship with that game. It seems like when I don't really try, I have a lot more fun. When I try, it just all goes out the window. But I know last week on the podcast we were talking about how I was oh, I'm not gonna get a PS4. Really can't justify the money. Well, I went out and bought a PS4 anyway.
Oh my god!
And
Dude, I'm so jealous.
And been playing Black Ops 3 on it, and I can't believe how much better it is. I thought it's gonna be marginally better, but it's so much better. It's so smooth. It is amazing. It is amazing how smooth it is. And then there's actually you can actually find games relatively quickly on it as well.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I got
that's one thing I struggle with.
MLB The Game as well, which is basically FIFA but baseball, and it's a bit buggy. Tends to just sort of crash halfway through some games, but it's sort of just a fun chill game, which I haven't really played in a while, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think the jump from the PS4 to the Xbox to the PS4, sorry, would be that big of a difference.
No, I really wasn't expecting it. But it really was up there. I was this is insane.
Far out. Now you're making me want to buy one. Next week I'll have a PS4, dude.
Yeah, no,
it's first week we're both no, I can't do it. And then 2 weeks in, yeah, we both got PS4s now.
Yeah, I traded in the X1 because I was talking to someone about how much the trade-in was.
I just sold my X1.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the trade-in was it was 230 or something in total. And then
really?
Just EB. But I did a thing where I pre-ordered Doom, and that bumped it up by 30% and a few games. So I think at the end of the day, it ended up costing me I don't know, $40 or something. So
yeah,
can't complain.
Yeah, well, I've already sold my X1 for $450 with everything it came with.
I guess it's fair, yeah. Because how many games?
I got a pretty
is
good
that?
deal there.
Just the X1. Or
about 10. Yeah, X1 and fucking 1 terabyte with about 10 games, bunch of controllers and shit.
That's a decent price. That's still a good sale.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I work at JB in the games department, so I'm just gonna go in tomorrow and be no, you guys can have this, and I'll just do it all by myself. Just take a PS4.
Yeah.
That'd be very bad.
50% discount as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Hook it up for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. A game that's been coming out that I sort of grabbed my attention since we were talking about Doom last time, but Gears of War 4, obviously now don't have an X1, but I don't know, it sort of looks interesting, but I don't know. I feel Gears of War sort of...
I've never liked it.
I played Gears of War 2, but it's gone so far downhill, not as a game, but just as the amount of people playing it, and I feel they just need to let it die.
Yeah, right. I've never played Gears in my life ever, and I always watch Mike's the Cast, some of the Incept games on Gears of War whenever they tweet that out, just because I'm interested to see what it's like as an esport, and I just watch it. I'm just I don't. It's I just don't get it at all. I just don't know.
I feel
And
like
I'm just
with
like,
shooters as well, like if you come from most shooters, you can like watch another competitive shooter and sort of semi pick it up and sort of know what's going on. And with
Yeah.
Gears, it's not like that, so you sort of alienate the fan base and well, yeah, the fan base and viewers in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a friend that plays it all the time, and he absolutely loves Gears. And he always talks to me. He's like, Jack, play this. You know, like you play so much COD, you play so much Halo. Like, how come you don't play Gears? I'm just like, I'm just not interested.
Yeah,
Like,
just no,
Yeah.
not today.
it's really,
I was reading about like it has microtransactions as well, which is something that's like starting to like really get on my nerves. Like the amount of microtransactions in like AAA $100 games, it starts to like really get to me because like in COD you've got like the supply drops and stuff, which
Yeah.
like
club
is a
points,
big
things
is like a
that.
big talking point at the moment just because of the like chance of getting these guns and stuff, and people are like, oh, we need an in-game market, and I feel like there just shouldn't even be a discussion about it with like AAA, like a game where you pay $100 compared to these ones that
But does
started doing it.
Gears, with Gears, like, will it actually like affect the gameplay, like with these microtransactions, or is it like COD where it's like
I would
you can pay
very
this and, like, you
much
can get
doubt
this?
it.
Yeah.
I feel like most games have realized that with microtransactions now, everyone like people don't care that it doesn't help you in game. If it's something that's rare and collectible to the game, they'll want it. But like I just feel like there's no place for it in AAA games. Like if I pay $100 for a game, I sort of just want, like I get it in multiplayer a bit, but like especially like single player, I just want a single player game, like a solid game that I can play. While if I pay $15 for a game like Counter-Strike, I'm willing to drop like, I don't know, $50 on it or whatever, more, like because it's sort of
sure.
like it's sort of like levels out as long as you're having like a fun experience. It's like you get like some of the free to play games that sort of do it awfully, and they're like, you know, pay $2 for this gun or grind 50 hours. People are going to pay the $2, but it's
yeah. Look, it's a touchy subject, and like some people be like, look, it's not affecting the game, obviously, but like I still find, like as you said, like if I'm paying this much money for a specific game, you know, I just want all the content that it comes with, and then there's like games like Destiny where you're paying money to like find, and like you just have to pay. There's a paywall. Like you play up to a certain point and then you have to pay, like with the Taken King and all that kind of stuff. If you don't have that, you can't progress as fast as you could, you know, with that. And I think that's where it goes wrong.
Yeah,
that's
well,
really
I think if you
something
look at Destiny, things like that killed it. Like I remember playing Destiny and I was playing it until that point, and then I was already sort of losing interest in the game, and then that sort of stuff. Just when you're not invested, you don't want to ship out the dollars.
You know, it really, like, I loved Destiny when it came out. I played the shit out of Destiny. Like, I absolutely loved it. Had my HSC exams, so I didn't have a lot of time to put into a game like Destiny. And then, you know, this year I came back to it, and I couldn't play it because I didn't have the DLC Taken King, and I didn't want to spend another $80 on the same game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but that's also the thing. It's like buying a brand new game though as well. Like,
yeah,
it's not even like
true.
you're just paying like your $15. Like, you pay 80. Like, it's another $80. Like, you know.
I mean, there is a lot of new content in it, but like,
is it worth it?
Yes, for me it wasn't. I don't play Destiny anymore, so they've lost it a lot.
I think that happened to a lot of people. Like I know someone that was hardcore into Destiny like that.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they went for that model, but like, I mean, if it's good for people that are keeping up with the game, but I just don't see it. I don't think it has a place in video games anymore. Like, it's...
Well, like, if you look at it from the sort of COD standpoint, like, I think, I don't remember whose video it was, but I remember seeing something on YouTube and someone saying that if you were to put in the exact same amount that you paid for Black Ops 3, you have only like a 50% chance at getting like a DLC weapon or melee weapon, like an actual in-game gun. And I'm thinking... That's insane. Yeah. And like in a game like Counter-Strike, people would be like, oh, if I'm paying $100 and I only make, and like I have a 50% chance of getting a $20 skin or whatever, people don't really care because you're cutting your losses at a point. But with Black Ops 3, that's just a hole you're throwing money into that's never coming back. So and like people want those guns just not because they're good, but just because it's like it's something to do in the game. And on a game like that, you sort of dries it out when you can't get things like that.
For me, microtransactions in games like COD, I haven't spent a cent extra on Black Ops 3. I haven't bought a DLC. Like, usually I buy all the DLC. I usually spend a bit of money on microtransactions. I haven't bought anything for Black Ops 3, and I love Black Ops 3. but I would have a response to microtransactions, like a more positive response, if it was going towards some sort of crowdfunding where when I'm paying for something, I'm actually supporting something that I'm interested in. Because like Dota did it right. They had microtransactions, but those transactions went straight into the championship. And I think, COD could learn from that, because if I'm paying these microtransactions, for one, I do get something out of it. There's some kind of reward coming from it, but also I'm supporting the industry that I love. I'm supporting esports. I'm supporting something that I'm passionate about, and I think that's where microtransactions become acceptable, because as I said, you're supporting something that you're interested in, but there is a lot of legal stuff that they have to take into account, and I think that's a reason we haven't seen it in COD yet, because there is a pretty big demand for it. I know people on Reddit always talk about it, you know what I mean? And I think CSGO is the same. I think it'd be cool to have crowdfunding in these kind of games with micro DLCs.
Yeah, I think
it's
with CSGO, it's a lot more sort of like people pushing for it just because it's under the same company, like that's both under Valve making those games, but obviously they don't feel like they have to do that because they make so much money off Dota. But with COD, it's just like, I don't think they realize how like much more support they would get from people if they went for that, because like the amount of passion in esports right now is almost what's keeping that game alive. Like the casual side of it's sort of struggling, the whole sniping side of it's dead, and that sort of stuff.
There's no sniping anymore.
It's I don't know, it's a touchy situation, but like I just feel like this year's been great for Black Ops 3, don't get me wrong. Like there's been a lot of dev support, like Vonderhaar and all those kind of people have expressed interest in the competitive scene, which is what we didn't really get for like Ghost and stuff. We got it a little bit in Advanced Warfare, but like now like the developers are acknowledging our scene, but there needs to just that little bit more where they can fully support our scene and give us a good ranking mode and all that kind of stuff. And then, with these bigger events and more events too, we haven't had that many events.
It's been like 4.
Yeah, that's also I think comes down to the World League. What like the World League's obviously like amazing and it's pushed the scene miles, but like that also cuts out like smaller like venues to do things, just because top teams now sort of like expect big prizes and obviously points and like winning conditions of what you're getting in the league and stuff like that. So I'm sure like companies putting up a lot of dollars will get teams going there, but
but the other thing is like each event that's been held, they're all challenger events now. It's all based around the league. Like everyone's trying to get into the league, and the people that are in the league are just trying to win the league. Like there's no more minor things. I think MES is the only other like company that's hosting events.
Yeah, and like what MES have hosted? How many have they hosted? Any this year?
3 this year, to be honest with you. But they're all really small. Yeah,
it's a thing because like our LAN events, like they have always had kind of that thing about them. Black Ops 2, you always had like the trash talking and the team rivalries and stuff like that. And it comes alive at LANs, and without that,
it's still like, so hush and quiet though.
Yeah,
we don't see any sort of big screaming as such anymore.
Yeah, well,
but that's a good thing too. Like,
it puts like really a more professional look on the scene.
But like the team rivalries and the player rivalries is what made me fall in love with competitive COD. In my honesty, like seeing these videos, it's cringy to look back on now. Like, wow, we actually did that. But like, it was cool back then. But
back then it was cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure I did that.
Like, Black Ops. I'm pretty sure back at Black Ops 2, like Black Ops 2 was just where everything happened. Like everything happened. Like that's where COD turned from being a joke of an esport into people thinking like, wow, this is gonna be a big thing. Like, and I think like obviously then we took 2 big hits with AW and Ghost. Like, despite saying if you like those games or not, obviously I'm not a fan of them, but like
production value as well though, we have to step back and look. Like Ghost had one of like the most money put in production wise into their championships, and like personally I enjoyed watching the Ghost championships a hell of a lot more than the Black Ops 2 championships. Nothing to do with teams, players, casters, etc. Just like what it was like, what it looked like, the way they were presenting it was just a lot more developed, in my opinion. And then we just went down at AW, so I'm just hoping they pick it back up.
It's just like looking at raw numbers though, like those games, while you've seen growth in esports via those games, like you look at the growth in between MW3 and Black Ops 2, like Black Ops 2 immensely stepped it up.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can really put that
Definitely.
down is into the money into the Black Ops scene, and obviously the game itself, because that's just how it is. But I think if you're looking at like the league and the way that works is sort of interesting, like just because like obviously it sort of puts like a bit of a, it's like obviously it's the one thing to be in, it has a bit of a monopoly. Like obviously Valve have their majors, but you still get like a lot of sort of minors that pop up like $250 prize pools monthly, and obviously the game's a lot bigger, so it's a bit different. But I think obviously it's a different system, and I think maybe the World League would be a good idea. I think just the league itself sort of locks teams in a bit too much, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've also
it's
seen
good.
like some emails from like between Activision and like smaller event hosters, and Activision's just like written in these emails, we cannot like sponsor this event, it cannot be anything to do with us due to the World League. And like seeing those really puts into perspective like they're pushing this league and this is all it's going to be. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we haven't seen any event like Australian Open events like ACL. Like ACL used to host.
Where's
those
ACL
open
gone?
events. Exactly. You know, I mean, they've merged with ESL now, right?
ESL now,
Something
but,
like that. But like they always used to have these open lands, and there was something about those that was a little bit more like special. You know, everyone in the same room doing something they love. We don't have that anymore in the
They
scene.
were
I
fun
think
and
it's
enjoyable to be in.
Well, like
I think it's. So yeah, I think it's just gone to more of a business aspect rather than, you know, something fun, which I think a lot of people wanted, but like I think it needs to be a bit more of a mix, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
There needs to be these like open events where everyone can enjoy doing what they want, but then they need to have this, you know, really professional looking thing that, you know, other esports can see and be like, okay, there is something here, instead of it's just a bunch of screaming kids in a room. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like you
I
see
mean,
that
like-
at the professional, like at Crown, like the only people, like you have obviously the elite, like of where pro players and sort of the pro community, and people that have been around for ages are talking and like having a good time, and like it's a really like community driven event. But like events like Crown and professional events like that sort of segregate that from the casual viewers. So if you do have like what you're saying, these small amateur lands, people like that are going to go there and build their community and merge with the other, and it sort of like brings in like everyone knows everyone sort of thing, which is a lot more sort of like like you said, special, a bit better. But to be honest, I'll throw it out there now, the Crown numbers were not that great.
Lacking.
They were like, especially on that first day when there were no that like the only time Optic or Millennium played was in the show match, and like I wouldn't even say it was half full on the first day watching any of the Australians, and then even on the second day, like obviously you get the Optic fans, and it still wasn't really that full. So that was a little disappointing. Like it was a great event, but yeah, that was
Because you live live, yeah.
On that same topic though, like how many events have we had in Australia this year? Like there's been season 1 like qualifications, season 1 finals, Crown, and then we have like the Cybergamer Pro land this coming weekend. Like I may have missed 1 or 2 there, but like that's it, and they've all been like pro relegation matches. Like we haven't seen, as you said earlier, like an ACL or ECL now, ESL event. Like I kind of like miss it. Like back in the day, I used to like obviously attend all the ACL lands, and like it was just one big room where everyone's sitting there, and it didn't matter who was playing like next to you or who's playing on the other side of the room. Like you'd still go over and like talk to them or watch them play. Like we were all like a community then, where now I feel like it's been divided into these are your pros, they talk to them, and then these are your amateurs, they'll talk to these guys. And these are unknowns, and they don't talk to anyone. I feel like
100%.
That's how our community is based now. It's not a big community anymore. I feel like everyone's in their groups, and that's all they're sticking to. Obviously, it's still like that at past events, but people are more open to everyone else. Like, just with it being in this room and everyone can play, all you have to do is sign up.
Yeah.
I think there was like one tournament where it was actually a qualification to enter, and that's just because there was too many teams entering. Like, I feel like it definitely hurt the scene.
Yeah, and like this is like I'm not calling out like players saying that they're not like talking to fans or anything, just so people know, because like I saw like formal like it was clearly like busy and stuff and getting stopped by like 50 people, but like didn't act like he was pissed off or anything. And like the guys at Tainted Minds were like around everywhere, like talking to people, just, and so like you do like have that, but you can still, and anyone that's like looking for it can tell there's still that clear divide in the community, which is, you know, like it is obviously eventually going to happen once something becomes big like that. You're going to have like points like that, but it is sort of sad because like you were saying, Synzah, like I remember like those lands that were cool. Yeah.
I mean, the difference between COD is like the COD community actually built like the community. It wasn't like it was never a business thing. It was never something where people could make careers out of. It was nothing like that. And now all of a sudden it is like that. It's really changed. And then there's like these players that like saw how, you know, the specific people got to where they are today. Like they don't have that opportunity anymore because it is so monopolized. And that's one thing that is kind of sad because like it's harder now. It's definitely a lot harder, but the reward, there's more reward now. So that's, you know, positive and negatives. There's more reward now, but it's definitely a lot harder to get there now. I mean, it's fair in a sense, but I just think it takes a bit out of the community, which, you know, is unfortunate.
But we also have to remember the skill gap now is a hell of a lot more of a difference between when it was back in the day where people were playing a lot more casually to now we have players playing for thousands of dollars weekly. Like that skill gap's a hell of a lot bigger. So you can often like realize why they may only socialize with certain people.
Yeah. And you sort of like look at like most of these players have been playing like pre Black Ops 2 as well. Like even if they're just playing casually, like if you're going to come into like COD and say you have been playing like since, I don't know, Black Ops 2, even then, like been playing then, and you try to get in competitively now, like it's going to be like you're going to have to put in more hours than the people that are playing sort of thing, like to catch up on that. But let's
I don't know.
Move on from this topic.
Yeah, I think that's enough on the COD. We'll probably somehow manage to link it back as we always do to COD because. But I want to talk about the Dreamhack Malmo, which is obviously like we were saying, it's like a minor. I think the prize pool's still 250 in total, so like first is 100 and so on. But there's one game in particular I wanted to talk about. So a team called Tyloo, which is Chinese. Yeah, they're the Chinese team.
Chinese. They
took
beat
on
CLG.
I think they beat CLG on their. Was it CLG or? Let me have a look here. So they actually took out Liquid. So they lost their first map to Luminosity, who just won the major. But they took out Liquid in an OT game, pretty close, and everyone was pretty surprised at that. But then they go to the best of 3 versus Luminosity, and beat them 2-1 in a best of 3, which is, I think, probably one of the biggest upsets I've seen in a year in Counter-Strike. So I don't know, I think that's something crazy to take away from it because obviously Tyloo took Australia's spot because it's the Oceania spot. So maybe we're not as bad as we think we are right now, but just the groups of Malmo, because it's still continuing. There's the quarterfinals starting, I think, in about a day they start, because I think there's like a weird time gap or something over there. So it's a really weird bracket. Like a lot of good teams got knocked out, sort of like upset City, but I think it's.
Can I ask you like who these people were though? Like were they expected to have any showing at this event?
They were basically expected to, no matter who they played at this event, to have maybe have got 5 rounds against any of these teams.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, they sort of just came out of nowhere, and like if I go on a CSGO lounge and see like the betting odds for that game, they had like 7% maybe, so realistically they had like 5% odds to beat Luminosity, and like people could argue that Luminosity were looking shaky, but like they took down Tyloo the first game 16-7, lost to Mouse, who are not the best team, so they were looking like a semi-shaky, but they won the major and then lost to pretty much the worst team at the event in a best of 3, which just like doesn't happen. So they play Na'Vi, and if they take them down, I'd be very surprised, but who knows? At this point at this event, no one really knows who's going to beat anyone. I guess like even though we did say we weren't going to talk about COD, we could talk about CGPL, which is this weekend. But I honestly don't really have much of a clue how it's working, what's going on there, or what teams are playing.
No. I think it's just top 4 or top 5 teams from the CGP online, league. Sorry. And then they're just going out to the event to smash it out for, I think there's a 22K. It's in Sydney.
Sydney, yeah.
Okay, cool. At the ESL studios or somewhere else?
No, it's going to be like a normal sort of LAN setup because it's run by CGPL, but it's still 18 plus because of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So I'm not expecting that they'll get huge numbers there because it's not.
Will that be streamed?
No, I don't think there's no stream. I know it for a fact, but I don't even think there's a crowd.
No, really?
Wow.
There's no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a closed event as far as I know.
Odd.
That's strange.
That's really odd that they've gone for that.
I'm pretty sure there is like a challenger bracket for teams with it like out of the league, obviously because it's CG run, so it's not within CWL. So that's interesting there. I'm not sure how that
really
works.
I'm just reading here. We're proud to announce the MWAV or MWAV, however you want to pronounce it. They're obviously the main host with CG. Pro League, that's the Autumn LAN event in April, will feature a 4v4 finals tournament as part of the Call of Duty World League Challenger Division, ANZ. As presented by PlayStation, hosted in partnership with Activision. This event gives competing teams a chance to win a total of $10,000 USD prize pool. That's all it really says.
That's pretty big because, like, if you look at it, CG sort of been out of it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, 4 teams will be given the opportunity to compete.
4 teams.
So,
Only 4. Is it single limb or double limb? Do you know?
Single limb. It's all single limb.
Okay, wow. Far out.
Yeah.
That'll be very interesting.
Oh, okay. I was wrong there. It's actually not the people in the league. It's everyone who is looking to compete in CGP. There was 3 online single limb tournaments, and the winner of each.
Right. Yeah. So like a relegation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Any movies?
Any movies wise? Oh, actually, I watched the James Bond Spectre recently. That was one honestly, I felt like it wasted my time.
Really?
I feel like jibbed out of 3 hours because I really liked all the other James Bonds, but this one to me, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I just felt like the story was really slow in it.
Right.
Even the action scenes, I was
actually, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I liked it, but I'm not a big critic. I'll watch something and I'll see a couple of explosions and some talking, and I'll be like, "This is so mad."
I thought it was cool in that sense, but I just felt like it didn't need to be 3 hours. I felt like it could have been a 1 hour movie, and if it was, I felt like it would have been a lot better. But I don't know. I've sort of been going on a Daniel Craig binge, which I know sounds a bit weird, but I've watched Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which was really good.
That's a really good movie.
Really.
You should watch the rest of them as well.
Yeah, what's is it a trilogy? I think is there 3 of them.
Yeah, Girl That Kicked the Hornet's Nest, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Girl That Played with Fire. There's the trilogy.
I definitely watched those because that one, I saw reviews of it and stuff, and I sort of thought that it looked alright, but no, it's probably one of the best movies I've seen recently.
It's definitely interesting, but if you're gonna like it, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
that's the way I'll put it.
It sort of fits into the movies that I really like, which are I like a movie that doesn't just sort of take turns that are so unexpected that no one saw them coming, but it sort of leads you down the track to say this is what you think's going to happen, but then this happens, but you sort of thought that you might expect that sort of thing. I don't know, a movie
second guess yourself.
Yeah, a movie like Nightcrawler. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was probably my favorite movie of last year, and that has who's the main actor in that? I forget, but it's an amazing movie. That's for sure. But in terms of things that have come out recently, I really haven't watched anything. Even TV shows.
I'm looking for that Game of Thrones season 6 though. That trailer just came out. Looks nice.
Well, I showed you that, linked you that trailer before. I'm not sure if you watched a bit of Angry Birds, the movie, which I definitely think is an interesting one.
I'm not even gonna watch it.
I think that honestly the trailer made me think this looks sort of like alright for an animated movie, but I understand why you would have that reaction to like you know,
I'm
we've
not a
had
fan
movies
of
of
things
video
like that,
games and but off an app.
Yeah,
it's really starting to stretch it.
No. Like that's an iPhone app to me. I don't see that ever becoming like a movie. Like that's just ridiculous in my opinion.
I can't wait.
You're joking?
Dude, it's gonna be so funny. I'm gonna go watch that shit, and I'm just gonna be like, that was a
New favorite.
Grammy Award for
watch
the
this
Red
trailer
Annie.
right now. I have to watch it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, dude, it's gonna.
I don't know. It's like I honestly, my reaction to the trailer was like, this is interesting. For like it seems like a pretty decent like animated film, but I was just like, it's an app. Like.
Yeah.
It's just gone way too far.
Do you know who it's made by?
We don't need an Angry Birds movie.
Not sure. I don't. Would you even need a director for that? Like.
Well, I'm just sort of like asking, like, you know how we got like, I don't know, like Cars or something like that, like, you know, done like in those ways. Like, is it going to be like that, or is it?
I don't know. Like,
it's going to be completely on its own.
I have no idea. I haven't really been that interested in it.
It's like I'm really interested to see some more video games into movies, because like they haven't worked.
Well, the Warcraft
but
movie's coming out.
Yeah, but see, like I don't see that working either. I
think Warcraft or Assassin's Creed. I think one of them is going to be really bad. One of them is really good.
I think
the Warcraft
has
the potential one.
I think the Warcraft one will be the better one.
Really nice.
I think games.
Yeah.
I think that because games like Assassin's Creed, you've played, you've seen the story, and you have your own. It's like when you read a book in a way. Like you have your own sort of idea of what the story is and how everything's meant to play out. Like obviously with World of Warcraft, it being, is it an MMO? Yeah, MMO. Like it's more so of like you play that game and you know it's like playing a multiplayer game and like everyone's experience is different. So having a movie to just like reinforce the like world is sort of cool. But I think like I don't know, when you have a single player story driven game, it doesn't work as well.
Very interesting.
I think Scarz is watching that trailer right now from his reaction.
Yeah.
He's changed his mind already, and he quite obviously wants to watch it.
I'm probably gonna go watch it.
See, that's my reaction. I'm just so conflicted though about it being a good movie. I sort of feel disappointed if it was a good movie. As you saw my reaction,
like you saw me, I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Like, what am I watching? It just looks hilarious.
It just looks like a solid, like, funny animated movie. But
yeah, definitely.
I can't wait.
Oh my god, dude.
I think
I can't believe I was watching
a movie I'm continuously getting hyped up for is Suicide Squad. Like you were saying last week, like the reshoots were sort of like a bit sketchy, but I don't know, the hype for that movie, like I don't know, it sort of hit me out of nowhere.
It's either gonna go really well or it's just gonna crash and burn.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. Hopefully
it's nice seeing like villains taking the main character.
Yeah, and everyone looks like the casting looks really like well done, like with the actors that they've put in position. So hopefully that's a success. But I think that's about it actually. So I don't have anything else. Do you guys have any other topics that you want to talk to? I think we've covered it. There's not a whole bunch of like news wise that's really come out this week.
Been a bit of a quiet week.
Yeah, and event-wise, pretty much all the events have wrapped up or have finished.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like an off-season at the moment as well. So, thanks for watching, guys, or listening, whichever you do with the podcast. If you want to keep up with Expert, follow us at TeamExpert GG. We actually have a GTX 970 giveaway, so go get on that, Australia only. And also show these guys some love. We got at Synzah and at Scarz. So follow those guys. And we'll see you in episode 3.